Quick walkthrough of tryhackme's content discovery room. Task 1 was content discovery. First, we should ask in the context of web application security, what is content? Content can be many things. When we talk about content discovery, we're not talking about the obvious things we can see on a website. It's the things that aren't immediately present to us that were always intended for public access. This could be, for example, pages or portals intended for staff usage, older versions of websites, backup files, configuration files, etc. There are three main ways of discovering content on a website, which we'll cover: manually, automated, and instant open source intelligence. So task 1 wants us to start our machine, so we're going to click start. And what is the content discovery method that begins with an M? Manually. What is the content discovery method that begins with an A? Automated. What is the content discovery method that begins with an O? Open source intelligence. And while we're still waiting for the machine to open, task 2, manual discovery of robots.txt. There are multiple places we can manually check on a website to start discovering more content. The robots.txt file is a document that tells search engines which pages they are and aren't allowed to show on their search engine results, or ban specific search engines from crawling the website altogether. It can be common practice to restrict certain website areas so they aren't displayed in search engine results. These pages may be in areas such as administrator portals or files meant for the website's customers. This file gives us a great list of locations on the website that the owners don't want us to discover as pen testers. So it wants us to look at the robots.txt file on Acme IT support website, see if they have anything they don't want us to look at. So we're going to go to our chat box and on Firefox, and we're going to go to this web address. I'm going to copy it, and since I'm using a virtual machine, paste it in my Firefox portal. I'll put it side by side so we can see. And as we can see from the robots.txt, we got disallowed besides /staff portal. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it over here and click submit. Task 3 is manual discovery using favicon. Favicon is a small icon displayed in the browser's address bar or tab used for branding a website. There's an example of it right there in tryhackme. Sometimes when frameworks are used to build a website, a favicon that is part of the installation gets left over, and if the website developer doesn't replace this with a custom one, this can give us a clue on what framework is in use. OWASP hosts a database of common framework icons that you can use to check against targets, and they list the wiki for it, which I'm going to open a new tab. Once we know the framework stack, we can use external resources to discover more about it. So we're going to go to the practice exercise. On the attack box, open Firefox and enter the URL for favicon. Paste and go. Here you see a basic website with a note saying website coming soon. If you look at your tabs, you notice an icon that confirms the site is using favicon. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's pretty small right there. And it says view the page source. This is if you run the following command on the tab box, so download the favicon and get its MD5 hash value, which you can then look up on the OWASP page. So let me see. Have my hash, go to the OWASP database, do Control F, paste the hash. I get that for the framework. It doesn't want the version, it just wants the name. Alright, so let's go to task 4. Unlike the robots.txt file, which restricts what search engine crawlers can look at, the sitemap.xml file gives a list of every file the website owner wishes to be listed on a search engine. These can sometimes contain areas of the website that are a bit more difficult to navigate to, or even list some old web pages that the current site no longer uses but are still working behind the scenes. Take a look at the sitemap.xml file on the Acme IT support website to see if there's any new content you haven't discovered yet. So I'm going to copy this since I'm using a virtual machine, Velcro. And my first question is, what is the path of the secret area that can be found in the sitemap? Let's do /secret area. Copy it, paste it. Task 5, HTTP headers. When we make a request to the web server, the server returns various HTTP headers. These headers can sometimes contain useful information, such as the web server, software, and possibly the programming script in use. In the below example, we can see the web server is nginx and runs PHP. Using this information, we can find vulnerabilities of software being used. Try running the below curl command against the web server where the -v switch enables verbose mode, which will output the headers. So I'm simply going to copy it and go back over to my command line and paste it. And we're looking for the flag value for the X flag. There we go. I wasn't going up far enough. Copy it. Task 6. Manual discovery of framework stack. Once you've established the framework of a website, either from the above favicon example or by looking for clues in the page source, such as comments, copyright notices, or credits, you can then locate the framework's website. From here, we can learn more about the software and other information, possibly leading to more content we can discover. Look at the page source of our Acme IT support website, and once we look at page source, you'll see a comment at the end of every page of a page load time and also a link to the framework's website, which is this line down here at the bottom. And it wants me to look at the framework website and view the documentation. So let's copy it. And our current version is 1.3. The documentation page says you can go to THM Framework Login and use admin to log in. We're supposed to go back to the IT support site. And then at the end of that, is where we do the / framework login at the end of the support page. And so the username was admin, very secure. We're not going to save it. And there's our flag for tryhackme. OSINT and Google hacking are dorking. There are also external resources available that can help in discovering information about your target website. These resources are often referred to as open source intelligence, as they are freely available tools that collect information. Google hacking or dorking utilizes Google's advanced search engine features, which allow you to pick out custom content. You can, for instance, pick out results from a certain domain name using the site filter, for example, site tryhackme. You can then match this up with certain search terms, say for example the word admin, tryhackme.com admin. This then would only return results from tryhackme.com website, which contain the word admin in its content. You can combine multiple filters as well. Here's an example of more filters you can use, and more information can be found at the Google Hacking Wiki. It says what Google dork operator can be used to only show resource from a particular site. And that's going to be site. WAP Analyzer is an online tool and browser extension that helps identify what technologies a website uses, such as frameworks, content management systems, payment processors, and more. And it can even find version numbers as well. What online tool can be used to identify what technologies a website is using? It can be WAP Analyzer, if I can spell it right. The Wayback Machine is a historical archive of websites that dates back to the late 90s. You can search your domain name and it will show you all the times the service scraped the web page and saved the contents. This service can help uncover old pages that may still be active in current websites. What is the web address for the Wayback Machine? So we're just simply going to copy it and paste it. Task 10, GitHub. To understand GitHub, you first need to understand Git. Git is a version control system that tracks changes to files in a project. Working in a team is easier because you can see what each team member is editing and what changes they made to files. When users have finished making their changes, they commit them with a message and then push them back to a certain location or repository for the other users to then pull those changes to their local machines. GitHub is a hosted version of Git on the internet. Repositories can either be public or private and have various access controls. You can use GitHub's search feature to look for company names or website names to try and locate repositories belonging to your target. Once discovered, you may have access to source code, passwords, or other content that you hadn't yet found. What is Git? Git is a version control system tonight. S3 buckets are a storage service provided by Amazon AWS, allowing people to save files and even static website content in the cloud accessible over HTTP and HTTPS. The owner of the files can set access permissions to either make files public, private, or even writable. Sometimes these access permissions are incorrectly set and inadvertently allow access to files that shouldn't be available to the public. The format of the S3 bucket is name s3.amazon.com, where name is decided by the owner, such as tryhackme assets. S3 buckets can be discovered in many ways, such as finding the URLs in the website page source, GitHub repositories, or even automating the process. One common automation method is by using the company's name followed by common terms such as named as assets, name www, name public, name private, etc. What URL format do Amazon S3 buckets end in? Leave that right there. Task 12. Automated discovery is the process of using tools to discover content rather than doing it manually. This process is automated as it usually contains hundreds, thousands, or even millions of requests to a web server. These requests check whether a file or directory exists on a website, giving us access to resources we didn't previously know existed. This process is made possible by using a resource called word list. Word list is just text files that contain a long list of commonly used words. They can cover many different use cases. For example, a password word list would include the most most frequently used passwords, whereas we're looking for content in our case, so we require a list containing the most commonly used directory and file names. An excellent resource for word lists that is pre-installed on tryhackme attack box is GitHub's Daniel Messer's sick list, which Daniel Messer curates. Although there are many different content discovery tools available, all with their features and flaws, we're going to cover 3 which are pre-installed on our attack box. Fuff, Drib, GoBuster. On attack box, execute the following 3 commands targeting the Acme IT support website and see what you get. So I had to open the attack box on tryhackme in order to access this word list that they're referencing. So we're going to copy fuzz and we have to move it to the clipboard. And once it's on the clipboard, we can Velcro it. So what is the name of the directory beginning with /mo that was discovered? So now let's use Drib. Let's see what it says. And let's try GoBuster since they reference it. All right, the first question says, what is the name of the directory beginning in /mo that was discovered? I guess that's /monthly. So we'll copy it, put it in the clipboard. Hit submit. There we go. What is the name of the log file that was discovered? Oh, there we go. Development-log. Paste it. Submit. And we have finished the walkthrough for this room.